Okay, let's talk about something I think we've all felt, but we can never quite put our finger on it. You know that quiet stress that just kind of creeps in when you have people over? Yeah, that feeling. The one that leaves you thinking, wait, why am I so exhausted? This is supposed to be fun.
So, let's just dive right in. Let's talk about that invasion feeling. It's such a weird, confusing emotion, right? And it's something a lot of us feel, but we don't really talk about it when we open our homes up to people.
I mean, think about it. You've done all the work, right? You've planned everything, the place is clean, you've got the snacks out. But then, as people start to fill up your space, does a little part of you just feel completely overwhelmed? Kind of like your personal sanctuary has just been breached. If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are so not alone.
And I really want to make this crystal clear. If you feel this way, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. It doesn't mean you're a bad host or that you're unfriendly or, that you're antisocial. It is a completely, totally normal human response.
Okay, so, if it's not some kind of character flaw, what in the world is it? Well, this is where things get really interesting, because it turns out this stress actually has a name. And just knowing what it is, well, that's the key to everything.
See, the real reason for this feeling isn't just emotional. It's actually about your cognition, which is, just a fancy word for how your brain is processing everything around you. You know that feeling of being on the whole time, like you can't relax? That's literally your brain working overtime in the background, doing a ton of extra work you're not even aware of. And here it is. The name for it is territorial stress. It's that anxiety or just sheer exhaustion that comes from having your personal space, your territory, taken over by other people. And this isn't some new agey concept. It's a real, recognized psychological response. It's got deep roots in our very basic need to feel safe and secure in our own environment. And just knowing that term, territorial stress, lets you totally reframe the whole experience. Suddenly, it's not a personal failing. It's not a sign that you secretly don't like your friends. Nope. It's just a normal cognitive response. Your brain is just doing its job, managing a huge change in its environment.
Okay, so we've given it a name. Territorial stress. But that leads to the next big question, right? What is all this hidden work our brain is doing that's causing it?
So, if your brain is working overtime, what's actually on its to-do list? Like, what are these hidden mental jobs it's doing that are just burning through your energy without you even noticing?
All right, the core of all this hidden work has a name too. It's called sustained social monitoring. And really, all that means is there's this constant cognitive load, you can think of it like your brain's CPU or processing power, that's being used up to track your guests' comfort and manage their experience inside your personal space. This nonstop background process, that's the engine driving the territorial stress.
So, what does that actually look like in real life? Well, it's your brain constantly scanning the room, asking questions like, does she need a drink? Is he being included in the conversation? It's you subconsciously managing the flow of everything, trying to make sure it all goes smoothly. On top of that, your brain is also dealing with the huge disruption to your normal routine. And maybe the biggest one of all, you've temporarily lost the one place you can go to recharge your batteries.
Any one of those tasks isn't a big deal. But when your brain is trying to juggle all of them at the same time for hours, wow, that mental multitasking is just surprisingly draining. And that's where that end-of-the-night exhaustion comes from.
Okay, so we get it now. We know why it happens. But how does knowing this actually help? Well, let's talk about how to start reclaiming your space.
I love this idea right here, because it really gets to the heart of the matter. Your home is so much more than just a place, right? It's your recovery space. It's the one place on the entire planet where you're supposed to be able to let your guard down, to stop monitoring everything and just recover, to recharge.
So when you think about it that way, when you have guests over, you're not just sharing a physical spot, you are temporarily giving up your main recovery zone. And that disruption, that loss of your sanctuary, even for a few hours, that is the fundamental reason why hosting can feel so much like a stressful invasion. But you know what? Just having a name for this stuff, territorial stress, is honestly so empowering. Understanding all that hidden work, the sustained social monitoring, it lets you finally stop blaming yourself. And instead, you can start thinking about real ways to make hosting a better, less draining experience for you. And that's really the big takeaway here. Now that you know this isn't some personal flaw, that you're not just antisocial, but that it's a completely normal brain process, how does that change the way you see hosting? Does it change how you might prepare for the next time you have people over?
or even just how you feel about it afterwards. It's a pretty powerful thing to think about, isn't it?